Hey guys, welcome back this week to RCC Kids Online. This week we're going to actually have it a bit different. So we've got 3 special guests this week, so you'll see them very soon. So we're going to actually start with the Bible verse this week. So I'll just pick that up.
So this is the same as the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we promise we'll have a new one to you guys next week. But here we go. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will be strong like eagles soaring upwards on wings. They will walk and run without getting tired. And this is from Isaiah 40 verses 31, which you should hopefully know by now because you've been memorizing it.
Yep.
Great. So that's us for today. We might see you at the end. But yeah, we hope you enjoy.
Cool. See ya.
Hey guys, it's Maya and Pippa here with worship today. So the first song we're going to be doing is the Rainbow Song.
It's not a secret, it's not a fairy tale, it's not made up, Jonah was in a whale. The 3 whole days, 1, 2, 3. The greatest treasure, the word God's people wrote, it's in the Bible, when Noah built a boat. And it rained and rained. The rainbows in the sky to show God's promises are true. And the rainbows in the sky to show the world is the only way for your everyday. The greatest treasure, the word God's people wrote, it's in the Bible, when Noah built a boat. And it rained and rained. The rainbows in the sky to show God's promises are true. And the rainbows in the sky to show the world He's the only way. The rainbows in the sky to show God's promises are true. And the rainbows in the sky to show the world He's the only way for your everyday.
Awesome job, guys. And so the next song is Superhero. And so this song is all about how God's the best superhero because he's real, unlike other superheroes like Superman or Batman or Spider-Man. And then the Rainbow Song, I forgot to say that one, but that's all about the rainbow in the sky when Noah built his boat after the flood.
He's the one who makes the sunshine. He's the one who puts the moon in the sky. He's the one who hung the sun. Am I right?
Good job, guys.
Kia ora RCC Kids. My name is Melanie and I am here to tell you a story for today. So this story is from the Bible and it's probably got my favourite character in, and his name is Jesus. He's pretty cool. I'm sure you've all heard about him. And so the story that I'm telling you is Jesus feeds the 5,000. And so just some things to remember before we start the story is that Jesus is a very smart person. So he has a lot of knowledge, he knows lots of things, he's very wise. And so if you think about your parents and they probably know a lot of things, Jesus actually knows even more things. So it's a lot, he's very smart. And so because he knows a lot of things, there were always lots of people who wanted to know what he had to say. He often would talk to them and kind of teach them about how they should live their life. The story starts with Jesus is with his disciples, so they were his friends, and they were pretty tired because they'd been talking to lots of different people, and so they wanted to find a space kind of further away from other things so that they could just take the chance to rest. And so they went away, but actually there were so many people that wanted to hear what Jesus had to say that they followed him and they really wanted to listen to Jesus. And so there's a part here from the Bible that I'll just read out now. And it says, "When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things." So Jesus started to talk to this crowd of people that had followed him, and he was teaching them a lot. And so as he was doing this, time passed on. It got a bit later in the day. And at this point, the disciples said that Jesus should send the people away so that they can go and buy food, because it was getting late and they were all probably quite hungry at this point. And he said no. He said to the disciples that they should feed the crowd. And so something to know is this was a pretty big crowd. So it says that there were 5,000 men, and then on top of that there were more women and children. So there was lots of people, so that's more than probably everyone at your school and maybe a couple other schools as well. So it's a lot of people. And you would have to have a lot of food to feed them all, or a lot of money to buy all that food. So they were the disciples are pretty confused about how they would do this. And so they asked, how are we supposed to do this? And Jesus said, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And so when they found out that they had 5 loaves, so these are loaves of bread. And so as an example, I'm just going to use lollies here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minty lollies here. And they also had 2 fish. So we've got 2 fish here. And so this was the food that they had. And so Jesus said to the disciples to direct them to get everyone to sit down in groups. And so they did that, and they all sat down. And then what happened is, I'll just read out the passage here. So it says, "Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of men who had eaten was 5,000. So what just happened there is, after Jesus prayed, then suddenly the small amounts of food that they had multiplied, and so there was so much more. And so there was enough for everyone to eat until they felt like they had had enough food. And afterwards there were even lots of leftovers. So I'm just going to demonstrate this now with a few of the props I have. So they started with this amount of lollies. So we've got the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish. And then what happened is afterwards they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 extra baskets, or in this case cups. And so all the extra ones were all full of the bread and fish, and in our case the lollies. And so this is a lot more than the little amount that we started with, as I'm sure you can tell. And so that's pretty impressive that Jesus did all this. He was obviously super powerful, because not everyone can make such little amounts of lollies turn into so much. So I'll just move these out of the way again for now. But as you can tell, it was a lot. And so the things that I want you to take away from this story is a few things to notice. So one of them is that Jesus was really compassionate, and this means that he loves people. So he really cared about the people that came to him, and even when they followed him when he was a bit tired, he still wanted to talk to them and teach them the right way to live. And so there's lots of other stories in the Bible of Jesus doing that and teaching people how to live, and also how he loves them. And so it's the same today. Jesus loves all of us. He loves everyone in the world, and that's really amazing. And because he loves us, that means that he will always provide for us and take care of all our needs. And so he will take care of us when we need him to. And there's also another verse I'm going to read from Philippians 4:19, and it says, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Jesus Christ." And that's just a promise that God is always going to look after us, and we can really trust him that he will do this. And so if we think about now, obviously things have been a little bit different recently with having to stay home a lot, and now that we are able to go back into schools, that's something that's really awesome. And it's just good to remember that wherever we are, whatever life is like, God is always going to be taking care of us, and we can trust him to do that. So I'm just going to pray now as well about this all. Dear God, thank you that you are an awesome God, and thank you that you really love people. Thank you that you care so much about us and that you'll always be here with us. Thank you that you'll take care of our needs and you'll always provide for us like you did for these 5,000 people and you fed them. I really pray that you'll help us to remember this and help us to trust you always. Amen. So that's all I have for you today. On to the rest of the Kids Church.
Hey, thanks so much, Melanie, for that amazing talk. We appreciate it so much. And Maya and Pippa for your awesome dance moves. That was some really good worship.
Cool, so now we're going to have a wee final game. Oh, I won't show you that yet. A wee fun game. Doesn't really have a reason, but yeah, lots of fun. Feel free to do it at home with your family. Get everyone involved. So we're going to be using toilet paper, and we're going to be dressing Dad up into a dress. So you're welcome to this with newspaper or scrap paper. Newspaper's perhaps slightly better because it's a bit stronger, but yeah, so we're going to make him into a dress today, but you can do whatever you want. So I'll start on the arms.
The things you do for your kids.
So you can do this with your whole family at home if you want.
I'd love to see some other dads being pictures being posted on Facebook. Thank you.
Oh,
Oops.
just wasting a bit of toilet paper.
Oh, that's good to you hold it.
How much of the arms do I do?
My stomach's not that big, Isabel.
Really?
We'll give you a neckline.
So it's a dress, not a mummy outfit, a dress, huh?
Supposedly.
It's supposed to be a dress, but it might not end up being a dress. I think Luke's being a bit more successful than me.
That would be correct.
It's quite hard, actually.
Okay.
Oh.
You guys at home, I'm sure you can do a better job than this.
Sorry.
Yeah, you probably could.
I'll go under the arm now. Oh, something ripped.
You can't go. I'll just walk around.
So for those of you who've stocked a lot of toilet paper because of the lockdown,
yes.
Here's a way you could creatively reduce the pile. I suggest you buy better quality toilet paper than what we have in the Steedman household.
Oh, we're nearly there.
Nearly there.
You're nearly there.
He's looking pretty fabulous, eh?
Don't you think the arm should be somewhat balanced?
No, it's like a shoulderless dress.
A shoulder, off the shoulder, one
Oh, that's
shoulder.
so cool.
So I wouldn't recommend just walking around them. You feel quite dizzy after a while.
I'll just
I hope my dress is going to be a bit longer than this.
Yeah, we're making it a bit longer.
But pleased to hear it.
Yep.
So you're improvising as you go along, are you, Luke?
Pretty much. Well, we can have a full one on the side.
Thank you,
Almost
Isabel.
done.
I appreciate having a longer dress.
Bit more modest, eh?
Yeah.
There we are. You can just. Should we give him a wee headband?
Yeah, I reckon. Oh, perfect.
I didn't think this came with a job description of being a pastor.
Alrighty.
Do I look like I got a head injury or something now?
Oh,
Well,
you do.
I reckon he looks pretty amazing. So, are we done? Nearly?
There we are.
We're done. Great. So feel free to do this at home. He
Yeah.
looks fabulous, and we would love to see your
Some other family members dressed up.
dressed up. Yeah. Great. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Have a great week.